Uh,
Hello, and welcome back to the Planet Film Network. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk,
and I'm really TJ Cornwell.
and tonight we're going to be going over a couple of different things. Probably going to be a shorter show, aiming for an hour and a half. We'll see what happens. But we are going to be taking your calls as always, like it says right above me here. Go ahead down below in the description. There is a link. You can go ahead and join that. We'll be taking calls probably a little bit later, but go ahead and hop in now. Just make sure to have your microphone on and your camera off, and we will be taking your guys' thoughts on any of the topics that we're talking about here. We have quite a few. We have some sad things, some updates, some speculation on news that's coming very soon. A bombshell casting and a huge property, which you can tell by the title and the thumbnail of the video, you know what it is. And then we're going to do a little tier rank, a little kind of check in with some of the TV coming up in 2025. So without further ado, you want to jump right in, or do you want to talk a little bit about you've been watching anything? I don't, but it's been a calm week since we got the top 10 out of the way.
Yeah, I don't really think I've watched much. I was telling you earlier, I went through as far as movies, I haven't watched anything. I kind of took a break after that weekend because I was trying to watch like everything. As far as TV goes, I did watch My Hero season 7, which came out I think like spring last year. I was just putting it off because I just wasn't in the mood really. And there's obviously like a decent size. I mean, with every show, obviously there's a gap between seasons, but
yeah,
there was just a longer gap, I feel like, than usual. So I just never got to it. And I basically knocked it out within like 3 days. I just forget how short like episodes of anime are.
yeah.
Like you got the intro that's maybe like, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes. And then you got like 19 minutes of show. And that's about it. So I basically knocked it out within 3 days, 22 episodes, I think it was. And it was really good. This is the second to last season, and the last season comes out this fall. So hopefully they can wrap it up in a nice little bow. The manga's been over for I think a year or two probably at this point. So hopefully no spoilers.
So when did the very first My Hero anything happen? What year?
Like show wise?
Anything. The manga, the original.
Oh, I couldn't tell you that.
I mean, but are we talking like decades ago or like very recent?
Yeah, it was this decade. Or last decade.
2010s.
So 2010s.
Okay. Wow. I just feel like I've just heard so much about it now. It's like I feel like I have false memories of like I feel like I've been hearing about My Hero since like middle school. But it's
2014 was the first.
Okay, yeah. So I was I was like almost a junior in high school. But yeah, that's I just feel like I've been hearing about My Hero so much. So when you're like, there's like 8 seasons and that's it. Compared to I know like One Piece had the original show had like 3,000 episodes or something, and 3,000.
Not even close. Like, it doesn't even hold a candle. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure maybe we will be talking a little My Hero a little later on. I really haven't watched anything at all. Trying to even think what I've watched. I watched in my rewatch or series that I've been doing of watching the MCU over again. We watched Doctor Strange. So our next movie will be Guardians 2. But we did not have time this week to watch that, and we'll catch up with it eventually.
Let me know when you get to Doctor Strange 2. You've seen it like a second time, right?
Since the first time, I assume.
So I need your like another viewing. I need like an opinion, and then I want Bree's opinion. Oh yeah, I've been watching The Rookie too with Danielle as well.
There you go.
Most ridiculous show. Like it's just so out there. It's Nathan Fillion. He's the lead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this guy, he just gets into the craziest hijinks I've ever seen. Oh my god. It's on the 7th season. Danielle was watching it. She kind of binged the whole thing, and I just kind of tagged along really, here and there. And then I've been watching, the new season's premiering every Tuesday. So I've been watching those episodes, and it's just like, it's the most bombastic things that are happening. Like every other episode, somebody's getting their house broken into, one of these cops, or they're getting kidnapped or whatever. It's so crazy. My one friend's a cop, and I asked him, I was like, any of this stuff ever happened to you? He goes, I hate that show. Most unrealistic show ever. I go, yeah, I could see why. But as far as Doctor Strange 2 goes, I need your like opinion, and then if you give me Bree's opinion as well, I'd be very interested to see what she thinks.
Absolutely.
She hasn't seen it, or she has?
She did. She went opening night to that one. That was the last Marvel movie that I could get her to opening night because it was just so bad for her. She like hated that like the whole thing. But she loves Wanda, and she loves like a lot of the Doctor. Like I said, we literally just watched Doctor Strange 1, and she like loved it. You know what I mean? It's like that whole corner. Like it's not even just Doctor Strange. It's like she loves Wong, she loves the Ancient One, and everything. So that was a big loss for her. So I will definitely. I feel like I'm gonna like all this stuff once I come back up around to it a lot more than I did originally. But we shall see. I have a long way to go. Haven't even gotten to Guardians 2 yet. That means Homecoming, which I have not seen in a long time. All right, let's move on here to like I said, that's really all I've been watching. So let's move on here to a very unfortunate topic that I wanted to bring up, which was that this past week, was it literally the morning after we were live last week?
I don't think so. I think it was a few days later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just had this whole week is like a blur to me. But unfortunately, David Lynch has sadly passed away at the age of 78. Actually, since he even passed, I think it was just 2 days after he passed, would have been his 79th birthday. A lot of unfortunate stuff has come out in the last few days about this. I mean, obviously we know that he had been diagnosed with emphysema and had been bad. You and I, even on this show, had unfortunately speculated based on something that Jeff Snyder had said like 2 years ago about this mysterious director, like auteur director, who was very sick but wasn't telling anybody yet. And I know that, you and me on this show, and then a couple of my friends in real life, we had really worried that it was him. And then about 6 months ago, they did the emphysema what do you want to say? The like magazine article where he talked about his illness and everything like that. And then just in the last couple of days, they just said basically having to move him due to the LA fires was basically just too much for him and his like whole system and everything. So he did pass away, unfortunately, which, it was unfortunate to go, oh, right, but he was sick. But then it's even more unfortunate to go, well, maybe this wouldn't have happened if the terrible fires hadn't happened in LA. Maybe they wouldn't have had to kind of shock his system so much by having to move him and all of his medical equipment and everything. But either way, obviously, I mean, I love Twin Peaks. I love a lot of his stuff. I'll let you say, something that you might wanted to say about it. But I just think the main thing I want to say is just like in the world of entertainment, especially like 78 is just too young. When you have Clint Eastwood making Juror Number 2 at 95, it's like, it's just insane to think that this guy, could have had 5 more great films in him, or even just 5 more projects that maybe he didn't even necessarily direct, but just helped, along. But we'll never know. But David Lynch, visionary icon. You have anything to say?
Yeah, same as you. I kind of go back and forth with it. I have his filmography is kind of like a blind spot. Like I've seen some of his movies. I think Twin Peaks is probably the biggest one for me. Yeah. I've only seen it the one time, but I loved that show when I was watching it. And then even with The Return, just like I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but everything that went into that and just the storytelling that he was able to do throughout that whole show was crazy. Like I just, it's some of those things where it's like you watch those movies or Twin Peaks, it's like, how can somebody even come up with what is going on here? Yeah. Did you see his? I've never seen it, but I know it's a movie that everybody says is really good. His like movie he did for Disney.
No,
I forget what it's called.
Is that The Straight Story? Is that that one? No, I did not. I have not seen The Straight Story. I knew. I knew about it, and then I heard. I think I heard Roka talking about it on Cinephiles or something. But no, I have not seen that.
That is definitely one I want to check out. People say it's maybe like their favorite of his.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I know a lot of people have said that it's like a real kind of off of the regular David Lynch path.
Right.
So I think it'll be a real interesting watch. But yeah, just like we said, really, really unfortunate news. One of those things, it's like we heard that he was sick, we kind of expected it, but then when it still happens, it doesn't change anything about how much it sucks. But RIP David Lynch, absolute hero and fantastic talent. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. We can flip out of that topic as best we can, which, you know, it's always hard to do, but we are going to talk about something a little strange, and that is there was a big article with I believe it was Variety, with Benedict Cumberbatch. Basically, I don't even know what project it was associated with, but essentially he spent a lot of time, or the interviewer spent a lot of time asking him about Doctor Strange 3, where we're going to see Doctor Strange next, the fact that it's been this long gap. I mean, obviously for years it was like a known thing that just like Downey and just like Evans, Doctor Strange had appeared on screen every single year since he was like first introduced for 6 years in a row. And now it's been 4 years since we've even seen him last. So, you know, people are wondering when are we going to see him next, everything like that. Well, Cumberbatch has said that Doctor Strange 3 is definitely happening. It's going to depend on Marvel's schedule as to when fans can see it. And that this is his own words. So McFeely or a Russo or anybody could come out tomorrow and say, oh, Benedict's wrong. But Benedict Cumberbatch says that he is not at all in Avengers Doomsday, but is going to be a central focus or one of the central figures in Avengers Secret Wars. So I just want to get, I have a couple of pathways here that I want to get your thoughts on. But real quick, tell me just your overall initial thoughts. And then I got a couple of, let's say, leading questions. Because this whole story's just got kind of my mind turning about Doctor Strange in general.
Yeah. I'm thinking, the more I think of kind of these older characters kind of that we've been with for so long, the more I'm thinking I think like those last two Avengers movies, they're just going to be, I think it's going to be the swan song for a lot of them. I just think it is time to kind of turn over a new leaf. Obviously they're trying to bring back a lot of, you know, OGs per se. Yeah. Obviously with, you know, Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom, you know, there's that rumor of Scarlett Johansson maybe coming back, Chris Evans, etc. I guess Chris Evans did come back, but just like in a different role technically. Yeah.
But remember, Evans he's 100% back. He's fully confirmed back in.
Oh, okay. Well, not a rumor, but I think this will be.
But we don't know as what. To be fair to we don't know as what.
Yeah. And I think we're going to be sunsetting a lot of these characters, and it wouldn't surprise me if Benedict Cumberbatch was one of those. I think. What was that you just said about Doctor Strange 3? That it's like it's going to happen, but it's going to happen before Avengers. Is that what you said?
He said it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon, but fans will have to wait to find out when. So
I would have to imagine it comes before Avengers.
Right? I think the common thinking is right between. I would assume.
Oh, okay.
So
are those a year apart?
Yeah, a year apart for now, but I mean, you could stretch it to. I think Doomsday is going to firmly hit. Okay, let's just go down this pathway, because this is my thinking. I think now you and I months ago, weeks ago, I don't know, basically every time there's an update on these movies, we've speculated that, you know, the first Avengers movie. Not the first, the fifth Avengers movie, but you know what I mean? The first of the next pair, when it was Kang Dynasty, or now that it's Doomsday, is going to be the launching pad. Like the first movie is going to be the inciting incident to, whereas Infinity War was this big conclusion, and then Endgame was almost the epilogue. I think this time around, the first movie is going to be like the launching pad and the inciting incident for the the finale movie. So I'm starting to think more and more now, if he's saying I'm not even in Doomsday, but I have a huge role in Secret Wars, I'm starting to think that Avengers Doomsday might be a much more contained, non-multiverse movie than people think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it almost makes me think, oh, Doctor Strange hasn't gotten involved yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be totally frank, I think he is going to actually be in Avengers Doomsday, because I don't think there's a way in hell, if he's not in that movie, that your primary post-credit scene is not where the hell was Doctor Strange. There was people screaming in the streets, where was Ant-Man in Infinity War? You're not going to have an Avengers movie without Doctor Strange ever again. You know what I mean? I just don't. Well, unless he dies, unless we're talking like the 2030s. But do you agree that it's seeming more and more like Doomsday might be at least more contained story, maybe a less kind of multiversal story, and then whatever the big finale is of that, I think the heroes in that movie are going to be in over their head, leading to Secret Wars. That's what I think. And then now we're getting even more big heavy hitters in.
I would agree with that. One thing I'm just thinking, just looking at the release says, and talking about this maybe third Doctor Strange movie in between like the two events,
Yeah.
I just hope we don't get to where we were like a year ago, where it was like, or a few years ago, where it was like a million things in 1 year. Like, I feel like this goes for a lot of people. And again, it kind of brings down the quality. And we saw that when it was like 4 movies in a year plus 3 shows. Like, that is just crazy.
Well, that year it was 4 movies and 6 shows.
Yeah, like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But then it kind of expands your timeline a little bit farther out, where it's like, okay, how long can we have this thing sitting here before we're ready to release it? And that, say, like, if Doomsday and Secret Wars are a year apart, if you want to have Doctor Strange, like, do you move one of those movies like further out so that you can fit Doctor Strange, and whatever else needs to go in between that? It's a whole thing.
Yeah, because even regardless of production, you're right. It's like they only have so many slots on the release schedule. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want Spider-Man to come out in between, if you want Doctor Strange to come out in between, and oh, look at this, Titus Willis in the chat said, "Oh, look at that, a very spiffing picture there." We have Titus Willis saying, "Will Marvel ever integrate with DC, in your opinion, in a collaboration?" What do you think? Do you think with James Gunn, with Kevin Feige, do you think that maybe one day anything might happen with that?
No. It's two competing companies that are trying to beat each other.
I feel like if anything were to ever happen with it, it would be like a Max Disney Plus thing.
I think you'd have to,
or animated, maybe. Like, maybe you would do an officially sanctioned thing.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like a What If and a Creature Commandos, like Jimmy Timmy Power Hour kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't think you're ever going to see Avengers versus what the hell's the DC one called? Justice League. Oh my God. I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to see Avengers versus Justice League in a big screen.
I could see it more in like use it like an animated form.
Yeah.
Obviously that I don't think that would ever happen in live action. No way. But again, it's one of those things where it's like I know that's obviously an easy example from our childhood. It was like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour type thing. Granted, that was under the same umbrella, which it was.
Yeah, it was like the rooms next to each other.
Whereas this is 2 competing companies trying to beat the other one with, obviously very similar franchise and IP as superheroes, just, different characters. But maybe like somewhere way down the line, maybe like something animated or something. Obviously, they've done it with like video games, kind of.
Exactly.
Capcom or I don't. Is there a Marvel vs. DC game? I don't know.
I don't think there's an official one, but it's like I feel like it has happened, but I just can't think of it. But yeah, as for Doctor Strange, just to end that, I think it's very interesting. I'm very happy. I want Doctor Strange 3, obviously. And I think what we were saying I think the 2 movies that make the most sense to go between the 2 Avengers movies is Spider-Man 4 and Doctor Strange 3. just because obviously those two have a huge connection to each other. They're probably two of the closest characters still, memory wipe aside, but I'm sure that at the end of the day, that's not going to matter. They're going to put the character moments, before any sort of spell that happened. But yeah, I'm excited to see what goes on with it. I'm bummed that he's not going to be a huge part of Doomsday just because I want to see Benedict Cumberbatch back. But interesting. Happy to get the update, and I guess we will see what happens with Doctor Strange in this very mad multiverse that we live in. All right. Next up here, this is going to be a real quick one. TJ, just let me know. Are you expecting any kind of craziness, any snubs? Amelia Perez getting nominated for everything. Dune 2 not getting Best Picture nomination at all.
That'd be crazy.
What are your overall takes? And I guess I should say officially, the Oscar nominations are coming out in the morning, first thing in the morning. We will definitely be talking about them next week for sure. We would have been talking about them this week, but they were delayed a whole week.
What did and I know that obviously Golden Globes, all those other award shows, not not signifying anything usually on what's going to be nominated for the Oscars or anything. But was he was nominated for A Different Man, I assume, right?
He was nominated for
Golden Globes, I mean.
Yeah, A Different Man. Okay. Yeah, he won for A Different Man.
I think I got it.
No, he was nominated for both.
Okay. That makes okay. I don't think he'll be obviously nominated for both. And not seeing A Different Man, you've seen it, I believe.
It's harder when the category isn't split like the Globes.
Yeah, I really think he should be nominated personally for what I've seen for The Apprentice. I thought he was awesome in that movie. I could also see maybe Jeremy Strong getting a nomination as well. He's also very good. One other question I have is, you've seen Amelia Perez. I have not. I believe you really liked it, actually.
I did, yeah.
Do you think it's going to get the same love as it seems to have gotten from everywhere else?
I think that it is, but I don't think it's going to result in wins. You know what I mean? I think that to quote an FYC term, and a term that is true that happens, is I think the tide is turning on that movie. And I think it's a slow turn on the Oscars campaign, but it's not fast enough to get under the wire for the nominations. So I think it'll take a ton of nominations, but I think it will be slow enough that by the time we get there, I just think other narratives will be at play. This movie will be pushed further back in people's minds. And I think what rightfully should still probably win, I think she's still the front runner, is Zoe Saldana in Best Supporting Actress. I think that's still going to happen. And I think that'll be its one win. Maybe she doesn't even win that. If the court of public opinion turns even worse on this movie, maybe she doesn't even win that. But I really hope that she does, just because the singing, the emoting, the actual difficulty of what that movie is, and specifically, I mean, I think 100% she is the lead of that movie, but they chose to campaign her in supporting, so that's what they're saying. So living within that curriculum, I think it could. But living within that, I think that it could happen, but I think we'll just have to wait.
Last thing I'll just say on that real quick is the one clip. Again, I haven't seen the movie, so I shouldn't be judging by an out of context clip that gets posted anywhere. But that one clip of her going through I don't know what it is, surgery center.
Surgery center, yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was the most jarring thing seeing it for the first time, because I was like, wait a minute, this is a musical? And I was like, what? And then I'm like, what is going on in this clip? We're talking about sex change and stuff like that. I was so confused. It was just, I don't know. And like Danielle said, seemed very poorly marketed that it was a musical. Because again, I had no idea it was. Did you know it was a musical going in?
I did know it was musical going in, only because I just first heard about it from directly from Scott Mance on FYC. So I was just I knew right away. But But I also knew right away that every time I heard it described by anyone, they would say this movie is impossible to describe. So it's like I
Yeah.
I give credit, or I lean any way anybody wants to try and describe it, because it's just, it is a lot of a lot, like you said, that clip. But within the context of the movie, that clip makes complete sense. Is actually pretty riveting leading up to that, and how she gets there. But yeah, very, very interesting. But we shall see next week what ends up happening with the Oscar nominations. All right, TJ. Next up, we are going to be talking about this huge news that dropped 2 days ago, and that is,
It was 2
you
days
know
ago.
him
I thought this was today.
today. No, I think it was yesterday.
Oh,
I think so. I believe. I think it was Monday morning. But what are your thoughts on this? Ryan Gosling is in talks, according to Variety, is officially in talks to be the star, quote, the capital S star of Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. What are your thoughts on this for Star Wars, for Gosling, for Levy? Does this mean that it moves up? There's a lot more background information to all of this that I can provide, but just going on the merits of this image that you're looking at, and when you heard the news, how are you feeling about this? Do you feel like this is a good pick? Where do you lie in your bones with this?
yeah, I think it's a great pick. I don't know. I feel like it gives Star Wars a lot of juice right now.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'll. It's one of those things where I'll believe. I'm sure this movie's happening, but it's one of those things where it's like I'll believe it when I see it.
Mhm.
When I see Ryan Gosling, marketed as, on the Star Wars poster with his name above the name of the movie, then I'll believe it.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. It's exciting for now. I hope that it happens. I'm interested to see what this movie could possibly be. I forget what show I was watching, but they mentioned like Ryan Gosling as kind of like in Jude Law's, like if we were remaking Skeleton Crew and we put Gosling in place of Jude Law, I think that would have been a really good choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of wondering what he'll be. He strikes me as a Han Solo type, as character wise. So maybe this is a sort of, again, I know he just kind of got bounty hunter type thing with Mandalorian, but that's kind of, he strikes me as kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
A scoundrel.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's the type of movie they're going for. I really don't see him as like a Jedi / Sith, any type of that. I don't know about you. It just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it really depends, but I mean, you have to. I just think, first of all, baseline, no pun intended, Blade Runner 2049 reference. I think baseline of it, Ryan Gosling can do anything. I think he's proven that he literally works in any genre, in any type of role. Maybe the only thing he hasn't played is an outright antagonist villain. But he did have like his, Nicholas Winding Refn era with Drive and stuff, and he can definitely play that moodier, kind of brute who can get physical. And then he also has the great comedy with stuff like Nice Guys with Barbie. And then he can also just do the straight up endearing dramatic, sad dramatic, or even just like absolutely deep straight drama. Something like First Man, La La Land, and then obviously more recently he's got his like kind of action comedy side with Fall Guy and everything.
Yeah.
So I really think that he could literally do anything. I think the thing that springs to my mind the least is as a Jedi, but I think he could still do it. I think he could do something, maybe not in the traditional white and brown robes, but maybe something like I know we've seen this 1,000 times, but maybe something like an Order 66 survivor that's just on his own, as a completely, different kind of style from anyone else that we've ever seen before. Like a Cal Kestis type, I think I could see him in a Cal Kestis type of role. than not obviously playing that character, just in that kind of I'm a Jedi, but I'm also out here just doing missions, trying to get done what needs to get done, trying to help people, but I'm not about the robes. I'm not about, the over meditation and all this stuff. I mean, I still, you're still a Jedi and you still are, but I think some variation in that kind of area, I think would be really cool. But again, I think they could do anything with it, but I just think for me, then flipping over to a Star Wars perspective, I think this is a good move. I think you start with something that is, it's just going to be season 4, but chopped down and blown up into a movie. But I think Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be that. But I think it's an easy bet, and I think right now they need to kind of play one hand safe.
Yeah,
you got to play one hand safe to get that confidence build up. That shell a little bit more.
Well, real quick, one thing I'll say as well is, when's the last time, and this wouldn't really include like Daisy Ridley or John Boyega or Adam Driver for that, because I don't think they were really, when Force Awakens came out, were they really that big? When's the last time you had like a big name kind of actor attached to a Star Wars movie, like that is the first of a trilogy or whatever? It's like an original. I guess what I would think would be like Donald Glover, or not Donald Glover. Well, yeah, I guess or Woody Harrelson. But I more mean like a starring role, assuming this is like a starring role.
Yeah, I mean, I think the closest you would get with that would be like a Felicity Jones, a Woody Harrelson.
For some reason in my head, like Solo was like Lando's movie. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I would definitely, he was definitely in stuff, a few Coen Brothers movie and stuff, but like Alden was not a huge star when he became Han Solo at all.
Yeah.
But I think like a Woody Harrelson, Paul Bettany. But again, these are minor roles, well, Emilia Clarke, Amelia, but she's not a movie star. She's just a star.
And she wasn't the main character.
Exactly, yeah. But
I'm assuming Ryan Gosling's going to be the main character.
Yeah, to honestly, to be totally honest with you, I think if you're talking about movies, we've never seen this situation.
That's what I was
thinking. You're talking about the shows, I think obviously, Skeleton Crew. I think that's the only other time it's happened. Is
I mean, do you want to count Pedro? But he's under a mask the entire time.
But also, Pedro wasn't a movie star when he started as Mando.
True.
He was in movies. He was in Kingsman, and he was in, a few other things, but he didn't have his meteoric year until like 2020,
Yeah.
It was really like the unbearable weight of massive talent, plus The Last of Us, plus Star Wars, plus all this other stuff. So I really think it's just like Ewan McGregor. I mean, but Ewan McGregor doesn't count because he kind of came up with Star Wars. So I really do think it's like you're looking at Jude Law, and like that's kind of it. Rosario Dawson's a movie star, but she had a built-in character. So yeah, and like you said, it's a show. So I just think we're in totally uncharted territory here, but I think it's good territory to be in. You have a real safe bet with Mando. Let's go something totally new with this movie. Your next movie is going to be your Rey movie, where Daisy Ridley is 15 years older. We're going forward. I just think it's a good look. I hope that the other 3 movies are still happening. Dawn of the Jedi, Filoni movie, and the Rey movie. I hope that all 3 of those are still in production. But if this is going to slide in there to kind of give a more well-rounded slate of Star Wars stuff, I'm totally fine with that, and I'm totally excited to kind of see where it goes.
Well, one real quick thing, and this is a Star Wars thing, but it's moving off Ryan Gosling. And this is just something that when I first saw this, it kind of baffled me. And I don't think we ever talked about it because I don't think we were doing the show when it was announced. So Jeremy Allen White is playing a Hutt.
Rod of the Hutt.
Does that make sense to you? When I first saw that, I was like, why? Is that just me?
Well, I think, I think the first thought is definitely why.
Yeah.
But I just think maybe the question is why not? I don't know.
Because I feel like I'd rather see him in some cool live action role that's not a
Yeah, but
CGI.
does that stop him from doing that?
No, but like, I don't know. It was just a weird thing to like when I saw that, I was like, we're doing the bear and all this stuff, and a lot of popular TV that you're on, and we're doing a voice of a Hutt in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. It was just weird to me. It was a weird choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a weird choice, but I think it's an interesting choice that's like, okay, if this is what you're doing, you better like be doing something with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just, to me, it just smacked me as such an out there idea that it's like, okay, well, you're only doing this if you like know what is going on. You know what I mean? You're only doing this if there's a very specific reason as to why. And I think you're only accepting this as Jeremy Allen White if you're like, oh, this isn't really going to like change much for me. You know what I mean? Like if I do
Right.
this, I could still play a live action Star Wars character. Look at Ahmed Best, right? Ahmed Best played a character in all three, episode 1, 2, and 3. And then he came back in The Mandalorian and he played Kelleran Beck in a totally different live action role. And think about all the times that's happened where people have gotten second chances.
Yeah, but Ahmed Best wasn't. He's not like Jeremy Allen White's like a pretty. I feel like he's pretty big.
No, that's true, but I just mean like I don't think it. I think it's just like fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking like we're going. We went bear and then we went iron claw, right? So pretty big, and then we're assuming gonna get Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
Deliver Me from Nowhere, and then we're gonna get him as a Hutt. Man, it just didn't see. Like, it seemed like we were leveling up, and then this seems like we're just gonna level down a little bit. I don't know. It was just a very odd choice when I first saw it.
I still think it's kind of completely possible. All right, I'm just gonna lay out in my head canon, based on what I know about humor and Dave Filoni, is I just feel like they were like, I think to zero the Hutt from Clone Wars, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I think they were probably like, what would be so fun? Like, we're doing this movie. It's about Rada the Hutt. You know what the vibe that I'm picturing for Rada the Hutt? I'm picturing like Carmy from The Bear. And I feel like that's the way that this all came. I feel like that was the conversation between John and Dave. That's like, I don't know why, but this is the vision that I'm getting for this. And I hope, I feel like it has to be that because it has to be for a specific reason.
Yeah.
If I am so ready to be like, yeah, that fucking fell flat on its face. Like,
yeah, I'm ready to be like, oh, it was perfect.
Yeah. If it's like just stupid and like kind of, they don't do anything with it. Then yeah, I'll be like, I hopefully I love the movie. Yeah. Didn't need Jeremy Allen White. I think that's totally possible that's what we're gonna say. But anyways, I just think it's an interesting, fun thing. But I guess we'll see what's going on. All right, let's see. We have, before we move on here, we have a caller waiting. Caller, can you unmute your mic twice for me? Mute and then unmute if you're ready to go. All right, perfect. We are going to bring in, we have Shelly here. I don't know what she's going to talk about, but we have a lot of topics that we already went through. Then we're about to close out the show, like I said, a little shorter show with our 2025 TV talk. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Shelly right now. Shelly, you are live on Planet Film Network. Welcome. What would you like to talk about?
Hi. Yeah. First, I wanted to say that as far as Doctor Strange not being in Doctor Doom, I'm kind of, in a way, glad of that because I was starting to worry that it was going to be like Secret Wars. We always had that impression when we've heard things about it, that it was going to be sort of an Infinity War collection of people, right? So I would hate to see Doctor Doom be the same thing. Like, that's just, if I don't want them to think, oh, we have to have like a ton of them in every movie or something like that, and it's like standalones are gonna, start having too many people. Just like I felt like Doctor Strange 2 was good, but it really was almost Wanda's movie, if you think about it, or at least on equal footing. So I would like to see it be more about Doctor Doom, and then maybe a couple of them are dealing with it. But I don't want it to be like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and everybody. Let's wait for Secret Wars for that one. And so I'm hoping that that's the way it's going. So I wasn't really disappointed to hear that he wasn't going to be in that one. I also was kind of surprised at how different Marvel is handling things like these announcements, or what we used to think of as secrets that people don't tell Tom Holland. But it's like, here he is saying, oh, I'm not going to be in Doomsday, but I'm going to be in Secret Wars, and I'll be sort of an integral part of it. When would they ever been able to allow to be saying things like that? So you can tell how the reins are a little bit less tight, which I feel is not the way to go. I think a lot of the sort of charm and the excitement of it all was that things weren't being leaked. People didn't even necessarily know what script they were in, or things like that, which kept it all a mystery even for the people involved, which I think was part of the whole mystique of Marvel and how they handle things. As far as Ryan Gosling, when I saw that, I was very excited. I don't know why I never even thought of him in a Star Wars role, because I think he fits right in. Like you said, he's got humor, he's got drama with behind him, he's got everything. So and he's proven himself in all those different kind of genres. So I feel like whatever direction they want to go with this character, he'll be fine with it. And just hoping they surround him with good people as well. But I really think that that's going to be great. So I'm excited about that announcement and everything. So that's all I wanted to say. Really,
I'm hoping it's a good movie. I mean, they need something big with they need like I mean, I guess shows have been winning. We've talked about Skeleton Crew, and I think we all here really liked that show for the most part. And Mandalorian has been good, but
and that's the thing. If they want to continue to do the movies, which is where everybody wants to see Star Wars, I think that it's good that they've had the hits that they have on Disney Plus, which should only pump people up that they're going in the right direction. But then if they have like this movie, say the Ryan Gosling one, and it doesn't have that same sort of power as these shows are having, there's going to be a whole new conversation about films. That's how I feel about it, because TV is hitting, but it's been hit and miss with the movies. But I think this will be good. He is the perfect kind of actor because he can do anything. So whatever they want to do, Star Wars always has a little humor in it, and they also have the drama and the action and everything, and he's done all those things. So I think it's going to be good. I look forward to it now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that is going to be revealed at Celebration in April.
Oh yeah.
Which we will be talking about something else Star Wars happening in April pretty soon here. But I think a lot is going to be revealed at Celebration, and a lot's going to become clearer. We're going to get updates on the 3 projects they announced at the last Celebration. We're going to get everything finally officially said and revealed about this Sean Levy movie. Probably going to get a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Probably going to get an announcement of whatever the new animated flagship show is to replace Bad Batch. Probably going to find out some stuff about Visions Volume 3. Maybe there's going to be some of the new studios there to reveal some stuff. So I think Star Wars is reports of Star Wars death unsurprisingly have been I think overstated. But I think if anything, like TJ said at the very beginning when we started talking about Gosling in the show, it's a jolt in the arm for Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's a I wouldn't say a life raft, but it is a golden opportunity that they have got. And it sounds like one thing that can worry me is they do say, oh, based on Gosling's interest in the project, production could move fast. That makes me worry that if it doesn't happen, or if Gosling maybe backs out, that the whole thing could fall apart. That does make me worry about that, is if another project just falls apart on them after such a public announcement, basically a public reporting by, the Hollywood Reporter of all things. It's not like it was Joe Schmo saying, oh, I hear Ryan Gosling's going to be in the new Star Wars movie. This was an official Hollywood Reporter full-on article by Boris Kitt. So this is like the real deal. So if it were to fall apart now, I mean, that would just be a crushing blow for them. That would really be hard. I mean, I don't even know, especially this close to Celebration. But that's probably the biggest worry that I have about this, is just it not happening.
Yeah, I would like to see that the reason they even allowed this to be out now and have an actual article is because Celebration is coming up and they wanted to put something solid out before it and everything. That, I mean, I'm hoping that's what it is, and that this isn't just sort of a floater right now and things aren't really solid in any form. That's going to be a problem. Like you said, I would hope that they aren't doing this, and that they, in preparing for maybe Celebration to have him, out on the stage or something. I hope that they're solid by the time that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on or anything?
Nope. I'll just watch and see how the TV stuff comes along.
All right, perfect. Thanks. Well, again, thank you so much for calling in. And if anybody else wants to call in, you can check that link right below in the description. Make sure your mic is on and your camera is off. And without further ado, TJ, let's go ahead and jump right on over to our TV tier list.
Real quick, sorry.
Hit it.
This show just occurred to me. I didn't watch it, but I did want to get your opinion on it, because I know you watched it, I think. Season 3 of What If. I kind of fell off. I think after season 1, pretty much. I didn't watch season 2. What'd you think of the final season? I've heard pretty mixed things. I saw the Darcy Howard the Duck. I didn't see it. I heard that it was an episode where they have like a kid or something. I don't know, something weird. What was your opinion on that show?
Yeah,
they're the season, I guess, season 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Hang on. I'm just trying to do too much. I think overall I enjoyed the watch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can do this. Boom. What If season 3? Overall, I enjoyed the watch of this show, no pun intended. But after it ended and watching reviews, and not that the reviews colored my opinion, but I just realized I just enjoyed watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just thought that they were fun. I think there were some that were way better than others. Some this season were just like, and particularly the finale. I mean, I thought the finale was visually awesome, intellectually cool.
Yeah.
Execution wise, like perfect. Story and plot, non-existent.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like,
yeah.
What if we had to figure some stuff out, and we had to punch each other to do it?
Okay.
That was basically the final episode. And spoiler alert, you bring Jason Isaacs, the great Jason Isaacs, in as your main villain, as the head watcher.
Sure. Yeah.
Or the Eminence, sorry. And I think he was fantastic. And I think that his work, I highly doubt that him and Jeffrey Wright were like in the booth together, because hasn't been the style for the What If recording. Mm-hmm. But I just think that the way that their dialogue was edited together, I thought that him and Jeffrey Wright had great chemistry as those two characters. In just the one finale, the one benefit I will give to it is you do get a good like kind of cross section, a nice swath through their history together. You get the cold open is a scene long, like eons and eons ago when they first meet each other, and then all the way up to what happens at the very end. I all thought executionally, like in the animation style and in how, like what happened, I liked, but again, I couldn't tell you why those characters were together. I couldn't tell you why they even needed to be doing what they were doing. Like, I mean, it was like such a thin premise of the finale, let alone being confusing and just like feeling like you missed episodes. Like where is it logically really fell apart on itself in the finale, which sucked. But I actually really liked the Darcy and Howard episode. I thought that was maybe the best of this season. And then, gosh, I know there's another one that I really liked, but I can't even remember them. Oh, the Red Guardian and Bucky episode. That was probably my other favorite. You have them. I don't care about spoilers for what if. It's basically Red Guardian inadvertently stopping Bucky from killing Howard and Maria Stark, and then it's them dealing with so it's basically mission report December 16th, 1991. That's when the episode takes place, is that day. And you have Obadiah Stane in this, and it's like cool reveals about, because that's the interesting thing about What If, right? Is that until the what if happens, or until the branch starts, you can assume that this is how it happened in the MCU, in the actual MCU. You know what I mean? Like things that happened before but then this happened, before the thing went wrong. So like this delivers us the information that it was Obadiah Stane who hired Hydra to kill Howard and Maria. And it's like, so you learn that in What If, but that still actually happened in the MCU. So we learned that it was actually Obadiah who got Howard and Maria killed because he hired them through Hydra, and then Hydra used Bucky to take them out, as well as getting the Winter Soldier serums to make the other Winter Soldiers. But yeah, I other than that, not a huge fan, if I'm being honest. And then I really the other ones I can barely even remember to tell you. So yeah, for me, What If season 3, not very good. What if it was good? And that's basically where I'm at with that. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump over to our TV. But I'm glad that we addressed that because I didn't really say anything about it. But all right, let's go ahead and take a look here. We have all of our beautiful TV stuff. Let's just dive right into this. You guys know how this works. We're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to see what is up, what we like, what we don't like. Let me just see if I can get this right. Does that look weird? Is that like all scrunched up for you?
It looks okay. It's a little cut off at the top, but I mean, you can, if you just scroll a little bit, it's fine.
There we go. Okay, perfect. So let's start off. Let's just dive right into this. Daredevil Born Again. We have our 5 categories here. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm curious. IDK, and I'll catch up on it. Where are we going? Where's our initial vibe check with Daredevil Born Again? We are in official territory, official trailer territory. We are in ramping up big to this show in just over a month.
Yeah, for me, I think it's both of us. It's going to be and I can't wait. I thought the trailer looked really good. Seems like just back to form, Daredevil Netflix type. Yeah, I'm really hyped up for it. I'm excited to see. Obviously, we don't know fully like what they redid because they basically kind of threw the first stuff that they did like out. So I'm hoping that this is a vast improvement from whatever they would have had before.
Yeah, I think I agree. And trailer coming out just looked fantastic. Just looking like it's a complete continuation, not missing anything from the original show. So really, really excited for that. Next up, we have Invincible season 3. Where's your initial gut check on this?
I'm gonna put it I'm excited. Historically, as you remember last season, at about the first half gap, I believe, I was like, I don't know, it's just not really jiving with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got through the second half and I was okay, I'm back on the train. This season comes with no gap, I believe, so that is good.
And 3 episode premiere.
So I am excited. I'm not. There's been a lot of casting news, I believe, as well.
Yeah, just today we got Aaron Paul announced
for the next season, so that's exciting. But yeah, I'm interested. Whenever it is, what is it? A few months probably, or is it?
No, it comes out in 3 weeks.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, February 6th.
Okay.
So February 6th, it's going to be 3 episode premiere, and obviously with Invincible, they're like full hour-long episodes. So it'll be very, very interesting. I believe 8 episode season, so 6 weeks overall, if I have my math. Yeah, 6 weeks overall. All right, next up, do you want to introduce half of these? Every other one, just my voice is like one on me, but I will give this one to you, of course.
Yeah. My Hero season 8, I believe it is, final season.
Bro's looking shredded.
Do you want to negotiate on this one, or you just want to go with me? Because
I'll let you go wherever you want. Yeah.
You can put it at I'm excited. From what I've seen in the past few days of season 7, it was great. I'm really excited to see what happens with these characters. It's going to be a sad ending, unfortunately, or sad that it is ending. But yeah, I'm really excited for the fall. I'm glad it's this year because I was worried that I was gonna finish all that and it was gonna be like next fall or like
like another 18 months or something.
But yeah, very excited for that one.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've never watched it, but a couple of my friends have, and I know that it's obviously hugely popular, and I know like very loosely stuff about it. But yeah, I mean, I am excited to see if it's meets the level that everybody is hoping it will. Let's go now with Wednesday. So it has since been dethroned, but for a long time, this was Netflix #1 original show. It had beat out the single seasons of Stranger Things. Obviously, if you put Stranger Things all together, it's a bigger show because there's been more stuff to watch. But Wednesday Addams coming back, season 2, Jenna Ortega, post Beetlejuice. Where are you at with this? Where were you even at with Wednesday season 1? Like,
didn't even watch it.
Didn't even watch it. Okay.
Yeah, I can't speak to it. I'm just not a big like Addams Family. Like, I've never even seen the movie.
Does that extend to like, are you a Tim Burton guy?
Yeah, I would say I like Beetlejuice. I like Batman. Edward Scissorhands, like Edward Scissorhands.
Yep,
I just the show never really got me. Is she's what is it? She's in school, right?
Yeah, it's basically just like a CW show.
Okay.
But it's just really high production value.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap her right at I'm curious. I think I was probably at IDK or even catch up on. Honestly, IDK feels like a little IDK feels worse than catch up on.
Right.
To be honest. But I feel like I was at IDK. And then I really liked the first season, but it's just been so long. And one of my favorite characters isn't going to be in the second season, I'm assuming. So like that, I think is going to hurt it, but I'll be very curious to see it. I'm going to watch it. But I wouldn't say that I'm like, it's something exciting or that it's like my most anticipated or anything like that.
Yeah. All right, next it looks like we got 2 Last of Us posters. It looks like.
Yeah, I don't know why there's 2.
So for me, that's an I can't wait. I'm very interested to see what they do with season 2. Considering season 1 was basically the first game, and part 2, if I recall, it's a decent bit longer, I would say, probably than the first game. So I'm interested to see how much they add in season 2 to kind of prolong that. Obviously there was a few kind of not filler episodes, but there was stuff that didn't happen in the game. It was just kind of building on, characters that we meet in the game, but don't really, get into all that much. So I'm really interested to see what they do in season 2. And I hope it's as good as season 1. I should watch Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm just not, I don't know.
I think you're probably fine. But it is a good show, though. I did like it. But and obviously Jenna Ortega, she's fantastic.
Didn't she win?
I think so. Yeah, she did.
Emmy?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Next up, it's a big one. Stranger Things 5, the epic conclusion. Where you at?
I'm ready to be done.
Oh shit!
It's just been so long.
Yeah.
Like
he said, just free me from this. All right, I'll put it.
I was a senior in high school when this show first came out. It's been so long, and I don't know. Is it just me, or is this like one of the shows that I feel like has taken the longest in production? Like,
oh yeah,
it just always seems like it takes like 3 years to put these seasons together. And I feel like no other show I feel like that happens with. Is that just me?
I feel like it's a lot of things. It's the runtime, because they're doing that crazy thing where they're doing like 12 or 10 episodes and they're like 6 hours each. But it's also, I think it's just scheduling too. It's like all these people are super famous now. Really hard. I mean, I know this season alone took 18 months, and this season came way quicker than season 4. I mean, season 4 was really the one that was like, oh my God, they were filming season 4 for 4 years. Granted,
that was COVID too.
Yeah,
right?
Granted, there was COVID. And then with season 5, there was the strikes, which obviously Stranger Things was like a heavily strike influenced show, because it was, everybody in that show is SAG, because it's, everybody but Millie Bobby Brown. But for me, I'm going to go, honestly, I would go, I can't wait. But I will level with you on, and I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like, it's just been so long that it's like, it's at a point where it's like, okay, I think we're done. And the kids, I mean, they've aged so much since the first season. It's just, it's time.
I agree.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we go out with a bang. I hope. I pray.
I'm gonna go over these ones that I do not know what they are really quick. You know what Fire Force is? Is that an anime?
It's an anime. I've never seen it. I would put it at an IDK. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that is. What is that? What's that? Lazarus? No idea.
I feel like I heard about this, but let me see. But I do not. Lazarus show. Yeah, what is this? Oh, I don't know. Not what I thought it was. All right. Next up, we have. I don't even know what that says. What does that say?
That is. Can you let it go so I can't see because it's like blurred out. I don't even know. Is that an anime? It looks like an anime.
I think it does look like an anime.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I can't even read it.
No, okay. Anime is huge, people.
Yeah, a lot of animes on here. No, I know. I don't know any of these.
Yeah. We'll just throw these guys on here.
Yeah, like you said, IDK is almost worse. I feel like is worse than Catch Up On.
Yeah, because Catch Up On is like.
I know what it is.
IDK, I know what it is, and eventually I'll get to it. IDK is like, I don't know. All right, I think. Yeah, we know.
What is that? So, what is that first one right there?
This is Percy Jackson season 2.
Yeah, I don't care really. I don't know.
I'll go catch up on. I'll have that be our first catch up on because I watched the first. I think it was a 2-episode premiere, and I liked it. And I haven't watched literally anything since.
Did you see the movies? Were you a fan of the movies back?
I did not. I didn't see them, and I was not a fan. I didn't read while other people in the school library were reading like the Rick Riordan stuff. I was always like reading like the James Patterson books, like the James Patterson young adult stuff.
Yeah.
So I never really read the Red Pyramid or Percy Jackson or anything like that. So I just don't have like the connection to it.
Yeah. I remember going on a field trip
Mhm.
in the morning from middle school to go see the movie. We had like there was like a club, I think it was called Books and Breakfast, or it was something. It was like you go in the morning, it was kind of like a book club, I guess. And we went to go see that movie at our old place of employment, which is funny to think about. But yeah, I think I saw that first one, and I didn't see any of the other ones.
Mhm. Yeah, I like I said, I'll put it in catch up on. I like what's his name? Walker Scobell. I think he's a good actor. And I think I liked him as that character, but it's just something, it's like Percy Jackson is underneath all the Apple and Paramount shows that I need to catch up on. So it's I'll circle back. It should be like I'll circle back to it. That's what it should be called. Speaking of Cobra Kai season 6, part 3.
Season 6, part 3. Is that a joke?
No, season 6, part 3.
God.
Or season 3 or season 6, segment 3. I don't know what they called them.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm curious. I fell off this show hard after season 4, so I have not seen 5, and I have not seen any of the first 2 parts of season 6. But I'll throw it in, and I'm curious.
Are we done? Are they done after that?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That's the very last thing. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's kind of dance around here and get some of these ones quick.
Let's
do a lightning round of Marvel. How about that?
Okay.
Because we could spend a million years talking about these right now. But we're gonna spend a million years talking about them throughout the year. So let's start with Eyes of Wakanda. So this is the 4-episode anthology animation, kind of like Visions, different animation style every episode, focusing on a different Black Panther throughout history.
Okay.
Executive produced by Coogler. Also.
I'll put that in. I'm curious. I don't really know.
I agree with that.
Don't know much about it.
I
mean, I know what you obviously told me, but very interested in that. What about? And I didn't even know this was still happening. When I think of Marvel Zombies, I'm just like, oh, that What If episode.
Yeah.
So they're doing a whole show on this. I don't know how long the show will be, but
it's 6 episodes.
For me, it's another one where I'm like, this I guess would be an I don't know, where I'm like, I don't really know if I'm interested in that, honestly. Like, I'm just kind of, I'm more focused on the live action, honestly, at this point, where it's like, is Marvel Zombies, is that going to affect the broader universe?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, maybe I'll watch it, but we'll see.
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like we're going all the way back to a vestige of time before Multiverse of Madness came out, because I remember the Marvel Zombies episode happening and people going, oh, is that going to be Sinister Strange? Is that going to be Doctor Strange Supreme in Multiverse of Madness? Is that going to be Zombie Wanda from What If? And it's like, no, it's none of that. You know what I mean? It's none of that stuff.
Yeah.
The only other information that I can give you is that the 3 leads are Kamala Khan, Shang-Chi, and Mahershala Ali as Blade. So that is going to be our first ever look at him as Blade, but he's Moon Knight Blade.
And I don't know if this rating is accurate. On IMDb, it's rated mature.
Oh yeah, it is TV. It's TV 14 or TVMA. Sorry, yeah.
So it's full blood. So that does pique my interest a little bit. Be like, okay, what do we got going on here? Obviously, we're kind of dabbling in that with Daredevil. I don't think it's going to be TVMA.
Daredevil's TVMA.
Is it? Yeah. Okay, so we're starting to dabble in that.
Yeah.
So that does pique my interest a little bit, but I still go back to the.
Also, I believe Andor season 2 is TVMA.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like going for it right now, but I'm gonna throw. I'll still the TVMA is a good aspect.
Curious. Yeah.
But I'll put it at the front of I'm curious. I'm definitely more excited about that than Eyes of Wakanda, just because I know Eyes of Wakanda is going to be more like a Tales from the Empire or Tales of the Sith. You know what I mean? Where, and I say Tales of the Sith, not Tales of the Jedi, just because I think Tales of the Sith was, or wait, that's not what it was called. It was called Tales of the Empire, wasn't it?
Tales of the
Yeah, Tales of the Empire. That's what it was called because it was Thrawn and stuff. But it wasn't Thrawn. It was Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love Star Wars. I'm going to watch everything. But 3 episodes on Morgan Elsbeth and like 1 minute of Thrawn. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. I like that you're giving me this flesh out of this character. But, you know, it could have been a comic.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I'm at with Marvel Zombies, which obviously was a comic. All right, let's get into... Oh, okay. We have another Marvel animated, which is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I would say
Lit?
I'm
Coming out real soon.
I'm between I'm curious and I'm excited. I feel like this was announced like was this announced in 2019?
It was.
I was
Yep, it
gonna
was
say, it was a
originally
long
announced as
time ago.
Spider-Man freshman year. And it was
Yeah.
originally announced as this is fully Tom Holland's origin in the MCU.
Right. And now
And then
it's not.
it's not now. Now
Yeah.
it is basically a very close branch of
Right.
it's basically everything's the same, but the one difference is it's Norman Osborn that becomes his mentor instead of Tony. And obviously a broader difference is Norman Osborn exists in this universe. Doc Ock exists in this universe. We got Austin Smart says Andor season 2 can't wait. Well, we will get there in just 1 minute.
Yeah, I would say I'm excited. I'm excited, I'm curious. I really like the animation from the trailer. I thought it looked really cool. And we'll see how it kind of, I'm assuming it's gonna connect, right? Is that accurate or no?
For
Is it gonna be
I don't know.
story?
I don't know. Yeah.
It probably would have, I'm guessing, if like it probably would have connected more if Tom Holland was voicing it, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I'm interested. I do really like the animation. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm interested in it. It's doing a weird release too. It's like releasing in arcs. So it's basically, I think it's a 2-episode premiere, then 3 episodes, then 2 episodes, then 3 episods. I believe that's how they're doing it. But yeah, it's kind of weird. All right, next up we have Ironheart, long delayed, long moved around the schedule. This is the official follow-up to Riri Williams' story from Wakanda Forever, and also she was in What If. But yeah, where are you at with this?
I'd have to go. I would probably go, I'm curious. It's just, we don't know. Well, obviously this show would flesh out this character more, but
I think that's fair.
Black Panther, that character was so just kind of shoved in there. Be like, oh, here's this character, and you're going to get a show eventually. And it went from, it was a movie, right? Now it's a show. That was the other thing. Wasn't it going to be a movie?
No, I think this was, that was Armor Wars.
I get those mixed up.
Yeah. It was going to be a movie, and now it's a show. I don't know. Yeah.
This is the same character though, right? From Black Panther. I'm thinking of the right character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested. We'll see. Again, this is coming out this year. So again, we're kind of getting to that thing where it's like, what do you got? Like 3 movies this year. We got 3 movies this year, and then we got
2 live action shows.
2 live action shows plus the animated. We're kind of getting to that point again where I said we should go
3
back
live
to
action shows. Of course, I forgot about Daredevil.
Where it's like, okay, now we're like, and maybe it's just movies, I guess, that they're more worried about, just because of like the box office return and stuff like that. But I just feel like you need to find a happy medium of movies and show ratio per year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the answer is probably the happiest medium would be 2 and 3. 2 movies and 3 shows. But the selfishness in me would go, I'd be happy with 3 and 3. But I think 3 and 4, 3 and what, and it's also hard because right now we have 3 and 3 and 3, which is we have 3 movies, 3 shows, and 3 animated shows. So it's like the animated shows, they pad it out because you have the same feeling of oh, it's MCU, I want to watch it. You know what I mean? Oh, it's MCU, I want to check it out. But it's like, that's what you're saying with Marvel Zombies and stuff is it's like, if you're not going to connect, it's like I have to make my cuts somewhere. You know what I mean? But also a lot of these animated projects are pretty short, but still.
Yeah.
Wonder Man for me, I'm excited. I'm definitely more excited for this than Ironheart.
I'd agree with that. Yep.
But I think it's still a pretty big question mark and a pretty big unknown. So I'm not going to bump it to I can't wait, but I'll throw it here in the middle of I'm excited. I'm excited to see Yahya Abdul-Mateen II in there. I'm excited to get Ben Kingsley back again and see, within all this crazy, the East Coast is dealing with Kingpin. Everybody else is dealing with the multiverse. I'm invested in the MCU to just go, are they going to make the West Coast Avengers a thing? You know what I mean? And it's like we're building a lot of young Avengers, but we're also building up a lot of West Coast Avengers too. We have a lot of heroes that are on the West Coast now, and Wonder Man is just going to be the latest one. And we obviously already have the Shang-Chi connection with Trevor Slattery. So that'll be interesting. All right, let's hop over, stay on Disney Plus, but let's hop over Andor season 2. I mean, for me, real question is, does it go here or here?
I would put it probably number 1. It's the only good thing Star Wars has. Well, okay, Skeleton Crew again. I shouldn't say that. Skeleton Crew is good, but Andor, I feel like in the last however many years is probably the best thing that they've produced. Really excited to see where the story goes. I might have to give season 1 a rewatch
for sure.
But yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, for me, I really can't put one over the other here. It just for totally different reasons. Like, I think overall Andor season 1 was a better season than any of the Daredevil shows, but I'm just so personally and emotionally invested in all these characters and all these actors playing them that it's just so hard. But I will give you that Andor, I think, has the potential to just absolutely crush it and knock it out of the park. So very interested in that. All right, let's do these 3 real quick, which is let's stay on Star Wars, which is Visions Part 3. So we're going back to all Japanese studios, but it's all different studios from season 1 now.
Okay.
So where are you at with this?
I'd say I'm curious. I think I watched all of season 1 and then season 2 I kind of picked and chose.
I really like the Aardman one from season 2, the Wallace and Gromit studio. I thought that one was really, really good. But yeah, I'm excited. I liked Vision season 1, but just because I don't watch a lot of anime, but really I don't even think that is the reason. That's just for some reason I gravitated towards such a wide variety in season 2 more than season 1. I think there was a higher hit rate with me in season 2 than season 1. So I'll be interested to see if season 3, where it falls on me more in line with maybe season 1 than season 2. So for that, I think I'm curious is the right place. What about It? Welcome to Derry.
Now, this is an interesting one. I am actually excited for this.
Pennywise.
I'm a fan of the 2 movies. And I'm excited to see Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise.
Yep.
Obviously not the biggest horror guy, but I will tough it out for this show. I don't know. I'm really interested. This is like these 2 Max shows right here, and then we're gonna get to the Game of Thrones one as well. Very little information. Just they kind of show up in that sizzle reel that Max does, and that's about it. That's all you really see from the show. So I'm very interested in both of them. I would put this in the I'm excited for It. Welcome to Derry.
I agree. I agree with everything.
I didn't know if you were on the same level.
No, 100%. It is a very big favorite in my household for sure. Bill Skarsgård, obviously, I think that project was make or break on if he was coming back. And so pretty much since he came back, maybe a little dip in when The Flash came out. But, I have confidence in Andy Muschietti in this universe, in the Stephen King universe. And I think that him and his producing partner, I believe is his sister, They just really have nailed the aesthetic of this It franchise. So I'm excited to have Andy Muschietti back. Kind of get out of that cloud of the Flash, and just on a Andy Muschietti level, I think if this show really hits like a really good, Max or sorry, it is an HBO original, not Max. So it is an HBO original. If it really hits as an HBO show, I mean, I think Andy Muschietti's right back to where he was. I don't think that the Flash is going to be something that holds him down his whole career, and I'm excited for this project to get going on that level, as well as just being a really cool entry in the It universe. But like you said, let's stay on HBO and let's go Game of Thrones, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So this is obviously spin-off about the tale of Dunk and Egg, Sir Duncan the Tall, and Aegon the Aegon the Wise, I think. But Aegon Targaryen, brother of Aemond Targaryen, Maester Aemond from the original series. This show is set 100 years after House of the Dragon and 100 years before Game of Thrones. So where are you at with this?
I'd say I'm at an I'm curious. I put it towards the front of I'm curious. The only person I recognize from this cast is Finn Bennett. He was in True Detective Night Country and really liked him in that.
Was he the son?
Yeah.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I'd probably put it at the front end of I'm curious, I would say.
I feel like I have to put it in I'm excited. It's a live action Game of Thrones show. To me, that's like I'm there. But I will say I'm not at I can't wait. So can we agree on the back end of I'm excited?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I just think to quote the show itself, every time there's a new Targaryen, the gods flip a coin. So let's see. Let's see if this one can be just as good, if not better, and get to the highest points. Whereas Yellow Jackets, I don't know where it is, but for me, that'd be put in. I don't know. I haven't caught up with it since season 1, which is disappointing. But again, it's those Paramount Plus shows. They're slipping through the cracks. Let's stay HBO here and let's do Peacemaker season 2. Where are we going?
I'd put that at a. I can't wait. I would say.
Yeah. I just think. Yeah, you go ahead.
John Cena, great, obviously in that role. Canon to what we're doing in the DCU. So really excited to see how that character is kind of brought over.
Yep. Yeah, I just think season 1. First of all, The Suicide Squad, incredible movie. Fan favorite character from the get-go. Launches straight into this HBO show. HBO show turns out to be an incredibly endearing, powerful, emotional show. That it proves that John Cena is an incredible actor, and every single person involved is coming back to do a second season. And not only is that, but it's now attached to a DC universe that is nothing but potential. So I am really excited to see where this goes. If not, maybe even more excited than for season 1. Let's hop over to Amazon for a second and do where are we at? Gen V season 2. So obviously we had the terrible loss of Chance Palmadero, who unfortunately passed away, who was one of the main characters of this show. But they decided, I think they said that they decided not to recast, so it'll be written into the show that something happened or what happens. Where are you at with this?
I would say I'm excited. Obviously, the next season of The Boys will be winding down that show.
Yeah.
So Gen V is going to kind of take it over, as well as I believe another show or two. I believe they're also doing
one
on
set
Amazon.
with the origins of Vought.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really liked season 1. And it was nice to see, obviously, those characters as well show up in the most recent season of The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Really, really liked the show. Like you said, I liked that they were like, well, how are we going to address the fact that these shows exist in the same universe? And they were like, let's just have characters interchangeably move between both shows.
Mhm.
And I like that that's the style they went with it, because it's like when Kate and the main guy, I forget his name, when they show up, you're just like, oh, there they are. You know, it's not confusing at all. And even if you didn't watch Gen V, you're just like, oh, these are just other soups that they have working for them. But to have that little connection, I think is really, really nice. Reacher season 4.
That's a you know what? Put it in catch up on. I'll tell you right now, I won't catch up on it, but I'll put it there because I know people really like that show. And I'm semi interested.
Yeah.
That's
By the
all
way, I
got
just
there.
figured out how to switch those.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm semi interested. I watched the first 4 episodes of season 1, I think, and now it's just like we're already on season 4, and it just goes so fast. But yeah, I will put it in catch up on, just because it was a really good show, and literally nobody says bad things about it. So, all right, Alien Earth. So we have this coming to us from Noah Hawley. Obviously, worked on the Legion show, worked on Reacher, worked on a bunch of different stuff over at Hulu and FX, and different movies as well. But he is giving his own take, his own fresh look at the Alien franchise, set between set between Prometheus and Alien. Sorry. This shows the xenomorph finally making landfall on Earth. And I think it's a 10-episode series coming to Disney Plus and Hulu. Where are you with this?
I'd probably go, and I'm excited. I think after Romulus, giving me a little bit more confidence in the franchise. And excited to see how how Alien kind of translate to a series or a season of television, however long it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would put it in I can't wait, but just the factor of, obviously, I love this franchise. I love Alien. It's probably one of my favorite franchises outside of like the big 4. But it makes me nervous, the going to Earth thing, just because, not that I really care about canon and stuff, but they are all at this point connected to each other. And I just feel like if you go, oh, there's like a mass outbreak on Earth, and maybe it isn't a mass outbreak on Earth, maybe it's a very contained story. So it's unfair of me to even say that, but I'm just interested to see where they go on that level. But other than that, very, very excited. And I hope
it doesn't turn into like what am I trying to say? Like it's the aliens attacking a city, and it's a bunch of like I almost want it to be contained to like only they know that this creature is roaming the Earth.
Yeah, like within the company,
right?
Like we have to catch this thing.
Instead of like, you know, like Godzilla, like everybody sees Godzilla. Oh my God, Godzilla is tearing apart the city, like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I mean with like the canon of it, which again, I don't really mind that much, but it's like the whole point is that they don't believe Ripley. And so it's like, if they go, oh, it's just like that thing that happened a couple of years ago, you know, it's like that doesn't hit as hard. But I agree. I'm going to put it in. I'm excited. And our very last entry here, which I don't even know if you've watched season 2 yet, is Squid Game season 3.
Listen, we're gonna negotiate here, okay? I didn't watch season 2. I've said it before. I was fine with leaving it at season 1, and I've said it before as well. Season 1 was kind of, when I finished it originally, it was just kind of underwhelming. I was like, again, it was so hyped up, and I was a little late to the party. And when it ended, I was like, that was good. It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. Like I just, you know, and I just never felt the urge to watch season 2.
Wow.
And I know people have said it's definitely not as good as season 1, but still good season. That's what I've heard. No.
Whoa. I think it's superior to season
Okay,
1.
wow, okay.
I think the only I will go on a rant for 45 minutes about this. I think the only thing that people just can't get over is it felt like half a story. It's serialized television. They can cut it off when they want to. Like, do you remember cliffhanger seasons? Like, what are we talking about? Like, and I know, there's a lot of stuff about what's a cliffhanger, what's not a cliffhanger, and the acolyte finale. And it's like, this was the definition of a cliffhanger season. Like, it was not a, well, we're going to wrap up some stuff. It was a boom. Like that was the cutoff. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it if you go like a half measure and they're like, well, it didn't even commit to being half a season because it wrapped up some of the stuff and now we're not carrying those through. All the plot lines are coming through to the next half, and where it cut was just, it was the absolute zenith of a character moment. It literally, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it because you probably won't even remember this line, but it literally ends with somebody going to Lee Jung-jae and he says, look upon what the actions of playing the hero get you. And then it's just like, boom, the end. And it's just like this heart-wrenching moment that's like this whole episode you've been building up to it. I think people just get so wrapped up. And granted, this is not everybody. I know people can have valid criticisms of the show, but I just think people get so wrapped up in the like, well, it didn't tell me what happened. And it's like, you just got to wait. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with Wicked. Like, Wicked, same thing. It's like that I think was different because people just didn't even know that there was more story, I guess. You know what I mean? Wicked, in a sense, kind of wraps up. Like, you can just kind of leave off of, if you just watched the first Wicked and then The Wizard of Oz, you'd be like, okay, I get it. This is when the big break happens, then everybody goes their separate ways, and then eventually Dorothy comes. But Squid Game, it's got this great season that's building the dynamics, the new characters, the new players were so good. Honestly, for me, if we weren't negotiating, I would put it right here. I would put it above Last of Us, next to the other two. But I will give you, and I'm excited, if you want to bump it all the way down. But I will say, I think it is well worth going and watching it. It is very, very good.
Hey, maybe one day, one of these days, maybe I'll go back.
Maybe. All right. Well, that is everything for our 2025 movie tier list. As you can see there are our rankings. Pretty cool. I think it's a fun list. I think there's a lot of good stuff coming up. Probably some stuff that is not on this list that we missed, but by and large, this is a lot of stuff that we are excited about. So let us know down below in the comments. What are you guys excited about? What do you want to see in the new year of 2025 TV-wise? Let us know maybe your top 3 in the comments down below. Let us know anything that you want us to talk about next time. I mean, definitely next week we are going to be going into the Oscar nominations. Sure to be some fallout, some interesting stories. There's already some interesting stuff coming out about the ceremony. They just announced today that they're not doing musical performances of the nominated songs for the first time. Very interesting. Not for the very first time, but for the first time since they started doing it. So very interesting stuff. But until then, thank you guys for everybody who called in. Thank you, Shelly, who called in. Thank you, Titus and Danielle, and everybody that has been in the comments and in the live chat. We thank you guys for checking us out. That will do it for me. I, as always, have been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm another host, TJ Cornwell. Thank you for watching. Please follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, because it still exists. And we will see you next time.